Just as far as the bigger picture of the squad is concerned, your January game schedules ended up being lighter than anticipated. No FA Cup and the postponement at Walsall last week. Has that been good with so many players out injured? Has that provided an opportunity and a bit of time? How do you deal with the not playing element of it?
It's been difficult because it's been difficult to train. So, and the conditions have been horrendous last week with storm, ice here and Jocelyn, is it? So, yeah, we do what we can. We make the most of the facilities we've got or that we can get. And so you can look at it two ways. You can just go, wow, it's terrible, or you get on it. Now, we've been doing this for so long that we prefer to get on and get it done. If you can't train, you can't train. If the weather's that bad, you can't train. But, you know, we've got good things in place. We've got good staff in place. And so I think it's given us a little bit of a respite with the injuries, but it only stacks it up to the end of the season. So luckily we'd played more games than most anyway, so we're just getting back to parity now, I think. There's
been a bit of negative news on Toby Savin, I think. Is there positive news on any of the other medium-ish term injuries?
I think Tommy Lee's going to be back quite soon. We're waiting to hear on Josh Andrews. And Liam Coyle again is another one that's a little bit up in the air. We're hoping Sean Worley won't be too far ahead. Sean McConville had an injection yesterday, and then we're looking at getting 2 weeks rehab intensive training under Sean before he comes back onto the pitch, because he came back too soon last time. And hopefully we'll have them for the running.
Is that top end of the pitch, particularly with Andrews not available to you and Adedoyin's not been available, and you've had so many sort of wide players or forward-thinking players not available, is that an area that gets emphasised? Is that an area that people look at and perhaps don't think about who's not available rather than who is out there?
Yeah, it is. I think you're doing a remarkable job there with your hands as well, just conveying that. It is a problem because, you know, we've lost, if you look at it in recent weeks, wide players. We've lost Roz, Sean, the two Seans, to a certain extent. Matt Lowe can play out there as well, so we've lost all them. And so then you're going into like youth team players or first year pros. And then we've lost Josh Andrews and Coley and Tommy Lee as attacking players. So, yeah, it's a worrying. We are still trying to bolster the squad with a forward or two.
I know we've talked about young Alex Henderson and the impact that he's had making that step up from training with you and learning the game, basically, and then coming into the first team thoughts. How big a call is it to give a young player not just a little taste here and there, but a regular opportunity to play?
Well, it's good for the lads, and we won't play them if we don't trust them. I'll never do that, you know. And they've got to be right to play. And we've had lots of good young kids who just haven't made the breakthrough because we didn't think they were ready, and then in the end have stagnated. So they've had to leave, and they might go on to better things. But when we feel they're ready, they'll play. Now, unfortunately, we haven't got a 23s this year. They had 23s last year. You know, I know we ended up getting relegated and they won it, so it's a bit of a like, I wouldn't say juxtaposition, but it's a bit like flies in the face of getting relegated, and you know but them players playing so many games that they did last year, the likes of Dan Martins, the likes of Josh Woods, the likes of Alex Henderson's, Aaron Pickles, Conor O'Brien, I think that's put them in good stead to be able to compete at first team level. Now the worry is that too many of them are playing at once, but they seem to be adapting to it, and they seem to be adapting really well. Now, you know, if they're not ready to go in, it's unfair to put them in. Sometimes you have to put them in because you've simply got that many injuries like we had last year and we have to a certain extent this year. And then it's a case of sink or swim. With Endo, he's been around us for quite a while. He's trained with us quite a while, and he's come on a sub a couple of times. So they're coming on a sub and seeing how he can handle the ball has helped him. So
as far as much younger players are concerned, in that kind of goal scorer role, I know you gave Anjola Papula his first opportunity earlier in the season, became the youngest Stanley player in a very long time. He's scoring regularly at under 18 level. Is that one of those where there must be a temptation to throw him in and you've got to weigh up all these factors?
Well, he is, and I know where people will be thinking about that, you know, and he has a talent. There's no getting out of it. He's a talent. But in the last 3 seasons, we've had remarkable goal scorers in the youth team. You know, we had Leslie, who scored a lot of goals in the youth team. We had Calvin Harper, scored a shed load of goals in the youth team. And so, you know, Angiola's the next one off. And they're all different types of player. Now, it's fitting them into League 2 football and getting the best out of them. Now, time will tell on Angiola. He's still only young. He's still very young. And, you know, when he starts training with us more regular and when he starts being around the team, he'll get a handle of what's expected of him. And that will be very soon. He'll be getting integrated to the first team training.
This weekend, then, Forest Green. It's a strange old situation this season, isn't it? Looking for another new manager after trying something, I think, fairly creative with Troy Deeney's appointment that perhaps hasn't worked out. Is it a surprise to see a third manager in the space of a season at this club?
Well, not surprising in football. And manager tenures being shorter isn't a surprise at all. And it's a difficult job. Attitudes can change quite quickly. And so, if you look at the team, now everyone will go, oh, they've got a decent budget and all. I forget the budget. They've got good players, and they did quite well against us here. You know, I think we were quite fortunate to win that game. I went to watch them against Salford, and they should have won that game. I watched big parts of them at the weekend, and I've watched the video on Wisecout. So, I don't think that they look like a bottom of the table side, even though they're there or thereabouts. So, these are games that they'll believe that they can kickstart their season by getting a win. And we've got to do everything we can to stop them doing it.
I think, sat in my chair, we often say they've made a change of manager, there'll be a reaction from the players, there'll be a bounce. Have you found that? You'll have played against teams who've changed their manager so many times. Does the evidence back that up?
It does. It backs it up over a long period of time. Not just the games that I'm involved in or we're involved in, but you know, if you watch it from afar, you can see that there is a response. You know, you could argue Salford's changed the manager and they're unbeaten in 3. I don't know. I think you just get a different reaction from the players initially, and then it goes down to, do they buy into the new manager's style? If they do, I think you've got a chance of going places. If they don't, then you go down the road of just add another manager onto that list till we get one who fits the bill.
I know you've spoken about target number 1 after being relegated last year. This year is to not get relegated again and to get to that 50 points. Playing against another team that came down last season, how hard is it we talk about momentum a lot. It's almost like reverse momentum. It's almost like a vacuum, I guess, when you've been in a relegation fight. How hard is it to get out of that?
It's difficult, but you've got to go into games believing you're going to win, and you've got to set your stall out to win. Now, you know, we look at the turnover of managers, and one of the things, Accrington are a unique club in my opinion anyway. I think people who come here and end up playing there, they either love it or they hate it. They are more love it than they hate it, to be fair. The ones who come, they buy into what we do. It's a culture, basically, and because we're not blessed with great resources, so we haven't got a chef who puts on glorious food, breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever. We haven't got salubrious training facilities. You come into this culture and that culture's there, and the players realise that we work hard for everything. So there's no airs and graces. You know, everyone's opinion's valued. it's like a collective, and we're all in it together, and we all roll our sleeves up, and we'd never ask a player to do something that we wouldn't be prepared to do ourselves. So if you go down to the training ground, you'll see the staff moving the goals. Now and again the players will join in and move it, but although this week it was the wind that was moving the goals. But we'll roll our sleeves up, and we'll carry stuff in, we'll carry stuff out. And that's the culture that it's a hard working environment that we try and make it enjoyable, and we give them a platform. So these players, we've had loads of good players who've gone on and earned good money. They're not going to earn it with us, but we've given them a platform and we've had great service off them, and that's the model that we've got to go with at Accrington. Well, certainly, that I believe that it's the right fit for Accrington. And so not moaning as much as just getting on with it and doing your very best with what you've got. And if you look at our players, I think the younger players are belying their years, and the older players are really enjoying playing with them, and it's a good balance.